This is the Wolves POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
No Joel Embiid, no Paul George, and no problem for the Philadelphia 76ers, who on the second night of a road back-to-back and a three-game Minnesota Timberwolves win streak by a score of 135-108 behind a big night from Tyrese Maxey and Edgecombe, who combined for 63 to take down Ant in the Wolves. What's going on? Back at it tonight for another Wolves postcast right here on the Locked On Minnesota Network, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which, thanks to all of you, is now the #1 sports podcast network nationwide. I am Jack Borman. I'm riding solo tonight without my co-host, Luke Inman, who is still recovering and should be back with us on Tuesday night. This is our live reaction show. We go live within about 10 minutes of every game ending. If you are listening on the Locked On Wolves audio feed, please be sure to check us out on YouTube. Subscribe there so you get notified whenever we go live right after every game. Also, please go follow my man Ben Beacon, who does an awesome job hosting the Locked On Timberwolves daily podcast. That is right here on Locked On Wolves YouTube, as well as the Locked On Wolves audio feed, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll get into who fudged up, our second guess, some quick hitters, what we'll be talking about. But first, it's the second night of a back-to-back for the Sixers, who lost by 15 last night to a New Orleans Pelicans team who has just not been playing good basketball, as we've seen recently here at Target Center. But they were playing in this one without Paul George, who again suspended for PEDs a couple weeks ago, and Joel Embiid, who's battling knee and shin issues. So understandably, this team has lost 4 in a row. Wolves, on the other hand, looking to make it a 4-win streak, but they are missing Rudy Gobert, who was suspended for this game due to picking up too many flagrant foul points. His second suspension so far this season because of missing because of that flagrant foul issue. So figured to be a good opportunity for Joel Embiid to play. He actually started in this game. And in part too, because Naz Reid was downgraded to questionable after shoot around this morning with a sore right shoulder. He did not go. It's the first missed game of the season for Naz. He did tell me before the game in the locker room that it is the same shoulder that he injured against the Spurs a while back. And he's pretty confident that it shouldn't be a long-term thing. So maybe we'll see him on Tuesday night in Portland. So to start this game, Sixers guards were just red hot from three pretty much the whole game. Started with Edgecombe, Maxey, Quentin Grimes off the bench. And the Wolves weathered foul trouble to Joel Embiid, who had to sit just a few minutes into his first career NBA start with foul trouble. Julius Randle also got into foul trouble. And the Wolves just had some bad turnovers. Had a 19-5 bench scoring deficit, but managed to keep the deficit to 10 at halftime. Behind a combined 51 from Ant, Randall, Jaden, and Dante, who had 11 points in the first half. Ayo Dosunmu started the third quarter for Joel Embiid, in part because of how poorly Embiid played early, and I think they wanted to try to get to some Embiid lineups when Randall wasn't on the floor, which was understandable. But the Wolves just couldn't really get closer than 3 possessions for the majority of this quarter, just shooting the ball so poorly from 3. And Tyrese Maxey and Edgecombe making some just ridiculous shots over really tough defense. The Wolves did make it interesting with a 10-2 run to cut it to 14 with about 7.5 left, but just had too many mental lapses to make this a legitimate comeback and get back into it. But all in all, big picture, just a really disappointing loss, even without Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert, who I think needs to take some major accountability for this flagrant foul issue that he continues to have. I think he continues to let his frustration get the best of him in a really unfortunate way. I think some other guys may take possessions off or get frustrated, but I think Gobert gets back with kind of some cheap shot energy that has been problematic for the majority of this season, just with different texts and flagrants and things of that nature. So I think he really has to stop. He cannot afford to lose any more games this season, because Gobert has been too important to this team. He should be the defensive player of the year, especially if Victor Wembanyama misses a few games down the stretch here. I mean, there's just the splits with Rudy on the floor versus Rudy off the floor. Defensively is way too important to this team to be missing games for something as stupid as flagrant fouls, which are utterly and completely avoidable. I understand if you pick up a couple cheap ones on the late closeout with just how big his feet are and some late contests, totally get it. But the nature of some of his flagrant fouls this year have just been so avoidable, and just something that I hope he has and continues to address with his teammates. But coming into tonight, Sixers have been horrible in 4 key areas of late. First of which is three-point shooting, shooting 30% on 34 three-point attempts per game. That's third worst by percentage, and also very low volume. NBA league average is much closer to 37, 38 three-pointers taken in a game. So 34 is a really low number. They shot 21 of 37, over 50% from three tonight. Maxey and Edgecombe themselves combined to shoot 10 of 14 from three. That was the same number of makes the Wolves had, 10. Edgecombe had come into tonight shooting 5 of his last 24 from three over his last 4 or 5 games. He goes 6 of 7 tonight because, of course, he does. On top of what's been a really impressive rookie campaign for him so far. Second area is bench scoring. Sixers came into tonight averaging 27 bench points per game over their last 5. That's second worst in the league. But they won big tonight. They won 40 to 25. That's a plus 15. Certainly felt bigger than that, as it was for the majority of the game. Third area, defensive rebounding. They've been bottom 5 in defensive rebound percentage all year long. That's still the case over the last 5 with Embiid, and that's with having a prolific defensive rebounder like Andre Drummond, one of the best of all time, in there in the middle. And they won on the glass tonight on factoring in offensive rebounds. Philly had 10 offensive rebounds for 17 second chance points, while the Wolves only had 6 offensive rebounds for 7 second chance points. And then the final category is playmaking, right? Philadelphia has been last in assists and assist to turnover ratio their last 5 games, but they were fantastic tonight. 31 assists to 11 turnovers. We'll call that basically a 3.0 assist to turnover ratio. That's pretty darn good. I mean, the NBA league average in assist to turnover ratio this season is sitting right at about 1.8. So a very good night for them. And their 11 turnovers only resulted in 5 Timberwolves points. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves, pretty much the same number of assists and turnovers, 22 assists to 21 turnovers. It's a putrid, anything close to 1 is really bad. Especially in today's NBA. And those 21 turnovers resulted in 21 Philadelphia points. And anytime you're giving up more than 30 combined points off offensive rebounds and points off offensive rebounds and points off turnovers, it's a really bad night. And the Wolves gave up 38 in that department tonight, 17 on second chances, 21 off turnovers. Getting into some rotation notes from tonight really quick. The Wolves had played about 5,500 possessions of non-garbage time basketball so far this season. That's roughly 97 a game for context. 247 of them, less than 5%, have come with both Naz and Rudy off the floor. So a very rare situation for the Wolves tonight to not have either one of them for a significant portion of the game. Those lineups and those 247 possessions, a minus 7.7 net rating. They're 86th percentile in offense and 2nd percentile, so about as bad as you can get in defense. And a lot of that is because Randall has been playing the 5 in those minutes, so it's understandable. He's playing out of position. It's a really nice, offensive hub as a 5. But certainly not what you're looking for as a defender at the 5 spot. So Chris Finch said that it would be a good opportunity before the game to see TJ Shannon play. Following his lengthy absence, kind of tipped his hand that Naz was going to be out. He was the first guy off the bench tonight. We'll get into the bench a little bit later. And then Jalen Clark played the 9th man role over Mike Conley, but Mike ended up playing more minutes than Jalen did tonight as part of Johan sitting to start the second half. Wolves crowd, really nice ovation for Mike Conley when he came back into the game, which was cool. And then the last big picture, I just think Jaden McDaniels' versatility is so important to this Timberwolves team. I may be in the minority when I say this, but I just think he's a much better interior defender than he is a perimeter defender, and we all know he's a very good perimeter defender. I just think his ability to rotate on the backside, contest without fouling, and rebound on either his first or his second jump are both really impressive. And he played the 5 when Johan and Julius Randle were both in foul trouble early on. He immediately got 2 boards, had a block while kind of being a late rotator to Drummond on the roll and pick and roll. And then I also just think that the Ayo Dosunmu acquisition will allow him to play more as a 4 for this Timberwolves team in the non-Rudy minutes. So I think that's going to be important moving forward, and we saw more of it tonight. And I thought that Jaden as an individual was very strong. I rebounded the ball well, 6 rebounds, had 3 blocks too, which is part of why that rebounds number was not higher, and had 19 points. Showcased pretty much all his entire offensive game. Didn't make as many threes as you'd hope, went 0 of 4, but he was 5 of 8 inside the arc, got to the free throw line 9 times, made all of his free throws there. So good to see Jaden played well. In what was otherwise a not so great night for the Timberwolves here. Let's get into who fudged up.
Uh-oh, somebody messed up, and it's time to let them know with who fudged up.
Yeah, for me tonight, it's just anybody that played in the non-Ant minutes. Those minutes were really, really bad in what was certainly a night to forget for the Timberwolves bench. So Anthony Edwards played 34 minutes in this game. The Timberwolves lost those minutes by 3. Still not something that you'd want against a Sixers team that doesn't have Paul George, doesn't have Joel Embiid, but still one that's certainly capable with, I think, 3 really high-quality players in Maxey, Edgecombe, and Oubre, and Quentin Grimes, if you want to throw him in there too. But the Wolves lost the 14 minutes that he sat by a score of 45-21. So they're minus 24 in those minutes. And the Timberwolves had more turnovers than they did assists in those minutes. And you look at Bones, who played 8 minutes without Ant, Dante, who played 8 minutes without Ant, and Ayo, who played 7 minutes without Ant. None of those guys scored when Ant was off the floor. And then when Ant was on the floor, those guys scored a combined 26 points. So I think, again, just you need more from those 3 guys. It's rare that all 3 of them are gonna have off nights or not play well without Ant on the floor, but that's what they're here to do, and they didn't do their jobs in that regard tonight. The Wolves got outscored, just their bench again, like I mentioned, 40-25, but it did feel worse than that. Justin Edwards, just for context, Sixers fans have complained about him all year, called him not deserving of being on the team, and just not a guy that they're big fans of from different tweets and podcasts, things of that nature that I've listened to. He had 5 points in 3 minutes tonight. That is the same total as Bones Highland, Jalen Clark, and Mike Conley had combined tonight, who played a total of 38 minutes and shot 2 of 10 from the floor in those 38 minutes. So it just continues to be a problem for the Timberwolves, and just was much more glaring without Naz tonight, because Ayo did what I guess he's done so far as a Timberwolf, scoring in that 12 to 15 points range. But yeah, I think really rough first half shifts for Bones Highland, who's just kind of loose with the basketball, had a couple of turnovers, and then had a couple of almost turnovers that I think took the offense out of rhythm a little bit and took the Wolves out of what they were trying to do, that did not make Chris Finch too happy. And then TJ Shannon, like I said, was the first guy off the bench for the Wolves, and unfortunately did not score in his first 10 minutes in the first half, and then scored right away once he checked back in the second half. But again, as a guy who is getting paid to score the ball, I know he's just coming back, so you got to give him a little bit of grace, but you'd still like to see him get downhill and score inside or in transition more than he did tonight. He had 6 points, but I want to say 4 of them came once we got to garbage time. So all in all, just a night where the Timberwolves bench needs to be considerably better. Mike Conley did have 4 assists, no turnovers, so that was a good thing, but just continues to be almost a non-factor as a scorer. So the Wolves just have to continue to get more consistency out of, especially Bones Highland, as a guy that can really score the basketball and be dynamic, but they just can't have these nights where it's almost a 0 for Bones. So tough night for the Wolves bench, but hopefully they'll get right back to it and figure some things out on Tuesday. All right. Tonight's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right. flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock it in. I love futures this time of year. Whether it's picking a team to win the championship or grab a conference title, it adds that extra layer of excitement to every game down the stretch. And now, not only can you pick your cash, but it could send you to the finals. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Today's show is also brought to you by Quo. New year, new systems. This is a time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our business and think there has to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communications is one of the quickest upgrades you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. I love how simple Quo makes everything. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number, so nothing gets missed. Everyone sees that full conversation thread, which makes replies faster and more personal. It works right from your phone or computer, and you can even keep your existing number. And Quo's smart AI tools automatically log calls, summarize conversations, and highlight next steps, so details never slip through the cracks. So it's no surprise that Quo is the #1 rated phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. Make this year the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/lockedonnba. That's QUO.com/lockedonnba. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. And today's show is also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Welcome to the 5 Hour Energy flavor draft. With 18 different flavors to choose from, including new options like confetti craze, fruity rainbow, or cotton candy, there's something for everyone. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and I've got my #1 pick for the 5 Hour Energy flavor draft. I'm going with grape, Concord grape flavor, similar to grape juice or candy. It's got this smooth, almost syrup-like fruit profile with a classic purple candy style finish. With my second pick, I would definitely go with Hawaiian Breeze. You can feel the breeze and taste the caffeine. And it's made with passion fruit, orange, and guava flavors. It's sweet yet smooth and tangy yet tart. Find your new flavor of 5 Hour Energy shots available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Alrighty, let's get into our second guess for tonight.
Since hindsight is always 20/20, let's deliver today's second guess.
Yeah, for our second guess, I might go with one that we're not. You could go with Johan Berenjay, considering that he didn't play too well on this game. Fouled out tonight, 7 points, only 3 rebounds in 17 minutes tonight. Not great for him on the defensive end of the floor, but his first start, I think, it's not the end of the world for him, but something that I think has a more important impact on the team this season, especially. I'm going to go with Ayo Dosunmu in his aggressiveness tonight. I thought he was a bit passive on Friday, so I asked Chris Finch before the game how Ayo is balancing kind of fitting into the team concept versus being aggressive as a scorer. Finch said that he thought he's doing a great job in the aggregate so far this season, but that he passed up a few drives and looks at the rim on Friday. And I thought Ayo was passive again in the first half, looking for Julius Randle, but played more assertively, looking for his own offense in the second half. And I just think that we need to see more of the aggressive Ayo Dosunmu as a scorer. I think that Ayo is definitely going to impact this team more as a scorer and as a defender than he is as a playmaker. I don't think the Timberwolves need a whole lot of playmaking off the bench with the second unit, considering that Bones Highland has proved to be, outside of tonight maybe, but very capable in that regard. And I think Ayo just is a guy that you want to push pace and transition and get into your stuff a little earlier. I just think that he needs to be more aggressive getting downhill. I think we've saw it at different points against teams so far this season, especially in that, I think it was that Atlanta game, and then against Portland as well, I believe. They just need him to be more assertive. I think Ayo Dosunmu is going to be here on this team longer than Julius Randle will, and so I think that the Timberwolves really need to do a good job of prioritizing Ayo Dosunmu offensively and kind of pulling him aside and saying, "Hey, man, like we really need you to score 15, 16, 17, 18 points a night for us, and that can't come if you're passing up these open drives just to kind of please Julius Randle while he's dealing with these, really aggressive mood swings." Seemingly in the course of games where he's just not a part of the game at all, and then way too much a part of the game that I think is hindering this team in an unfortunate way right now. So I think for Ayo, I totally get that he's an unselfish dude and doesn't want to, rock the boat. But if I'm on the Timberwolves coaching staff, I'm pulling him aside and saying, hey, like, we really need you to be part of this thing offensively. And look, I mean, he was 4 of 8 tonight, 2 of 3 from 3, got to the free throw line a couple of times, had 5 rebounds, 4 assists to 1 turnover. I mean, he's been playing really good ball, but they just need more of it. And I think, I don't think his teammates would be upset at all in any stretch of the imagination if he was a little bit more aggressive. So that's something that I'm going to be looking forward to here in the coming days.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm not super concerned about what this loss says about the Timberwolves moving forward. I think that hopefully it's one that they can just put behind them. I think on a certain level you can chalk some of it up to shooting variance. Just with there's been very few games where the Wolves have been significantly outshot by their opponents like they were tonight. They were a minus 33 on the 3-point line tonight, which is as bad as it gets. It's impossible, damn near impossible, to win an NBA game when that happens. So I think, Ant played well, Jaden played well. They got one good half from Dante, one good half from Ayo. They need 2 good halves from both those guys. Hopefully they have Naz back and Bones plays a little bit better. And it'll be a good opportunity to get right on Tuesday night in Portland, because Denny Avdia missed 4 of the Blazers' last 6 games entering the break. And we saw one of the 2 games he did play, Jaden McDaniels completely took him out of the game, and he just didn't necessarily look like himself. And then tonight he was questionable with that back issue that held him out for those 4 games. And he left the game early tonight and did not return. So we'd be surprised if he played on Tuesday night. So should be an opportunity for the Wolves to get right. They'll get Rudy Gobert back. Hopefully they'll get Naz Reid back, and they'll need both of them against a very large Blazers front court that certainly gave the Wolves a little bit of issues when they played at Target Center just before the break. So that's all we got tonight. I appreciate you joining me. Hopefully Luke will be back with us on Tuesday night for a late one. Hope you'll join us after that game. 9:00 tip, I believe, on Peacock. So yeah, appreciate you joining me, and we'll catch you then.